And now, BX Forever presents another RPG deep dive.
All right, so get this. We're going deep on B8 Journey to the Rock. Yeah,
fun.
Classic D&D adventure module. You sent over some excerpts, and I gotta say, this one, it's less about like dungeon crawling and more about this like wild trek through these untamed landscapes to find a lost city.
Interesting.
Yeah, and trust me, there's a lot more to uncover than meets the eye with this one.
That's cool. I like when they switch it up like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of just like a straightforward dungeon crawl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It emphasizes like exploration and testing the player's resourcefulness and wilderness survival skills as much as their combat prowess.
I like that.
Yeah.
Makes you think.
Yeah, so the basic setup is this mysterious wizard, Lirdrium Arkayz. He hires you to find a powerful artifact called the Talisman.
The Talisman?
But here's the catch. He's not exactly upfront about why he needs it.
Oh.
What do you think is going on there? What's the deal?
Well, that's the beauty of it, right? Like the module is planting seeds of mystery right from the start. It makes you question everyone's motives.
Yeah.
It really sets the stage for a journey full of like twists and turns.
Yeah, and those twists, they start with Arkayz's right-hand man, Genler Temlin. Instead of like giving you a clear-cut mission briefing, he hands you this like cryptic poem.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And let me tell you, this is not your average tavern song.
Okay.
It's filled with double meanings and warnings about hidden truths and false appearances.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Like foreshadowing.
Yeah, it's like dripping with foreshadowing right from the get-go.
Yeah.
Hinting at the challenges and deceptions that await the players. Like there's one line that says, "Strength is not as strength might look. Remember falsely covered books? You know, you can't trust your initial impressions. Things are rarely what they seem."
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
It's like the designers are saying, don't get too comfortable.
Right.
We're going to keep you guessing.
Yeah.
And speaking of guessing, after deciphering the poem, you face a big decision.
Okay.
Which trail to take. You've got three options, western, northern, or southern.
Okay.
Each leading to the rock, where the talisman is supposedly hidden.
Right.
Where would you head first?
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Each trail offers a different like flavor of adventure.
Right.
For instance, the Western Trail, it really leans into the theme of deception.
Yeah.
You encounter chameleon men, creatures that can vanish and reappear at will, making them tricky to fight.
Right. And then there are the water weirds guarding a bridge. Now, these creatures might sound familiar to seasoned D&D players, but they have a unique twist in this module.
What's that?
They're only vulnerable to certain types of attacks.
Interesting.
Not your typical hack and slash encounter.
Right.
You got to have a strategy.
Yeah.
It showcases the importance of knowing your enemy's weaknesses. And then you have Dunnick Ironhammer.
Okay.
A dwarf who seems helpful at first.
Yeah.
But might not be all he appears.
Oh, interesting.
It forces the players to think critically about who to trust.
Yeah.
Which is a recurring theme throughout the module.
I like that.
So moving on to the Northern Trail, you've got some classic D&D fare.
Okay.
Ogre bandits.
All right.
But even they have a surprise in store. They've dug themselves an underground lair.
Ooh.
Not what you'd expect from brutish ogres.
Yeah, you think they'd be like above ground?
Right.
More. Yeah.
Yeah, it hints at a level of cunning and planning that you wouldn't normally associate with ogres.
Yeah.
The Northern Trail also takes you past the deserted city of Tuma,
Ooh.
which is shrouded in magical silence and this unsettling sense of mystery.
I like that.
The module only provides glimpses of its history, leaving plenty of room for the imagination.
That's always fun.
Yeah, a deserted city.
Yeah.
Always a sucker for those. It's like a giant abandoned puzzle just begging to be explored and guarding this mysterious city. Are the winged warriors.
Okay.
Living statues that are immune to sleep.
Oh, wow.
And can fly.
That's tough.
Yeah. Talk about a tactical challenge.
Yeah, you got to think outside the box there.
Right. It's not just about hitting things hard. You have to be smart about it.
For sure.
So we've got deception. We've got strategy.
Yeah.
Now we've got aerial combat.
Okay.
Let's head south.
All right.
This trail seems a bit more whimsical.
Really?
You've got gnomes
Okay.
sailing a ship through the desert. It's a perfect example of how this module isn't afraid to inject a little humor into the adventure.
I like that.
Yeah, I can already imagine some hilarious scenarios playing out there.
Yeah, for sure.
But don't let your guard down completely.
Okay.
The Southern Trail also features sand spiders with paralyzing venom.
Oh, yeah.
A classic D&D hazard that can quickly turn a simple trek into a desperate struggle for survival.
Yeah, that'll slow you down.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Paralyzing venom, not my idea of a good time.
Oh.
And just when you think you're in the clear, you run into the Rockmen.
Okay.
Living stone creatures who demand tolls for safe passage.
Interesting.
It's a cool twist on the typical monster blocks the path trope.
Yeah. It's not just combat.
Yeah.
Like,
gives players the option to negotiate or find a clever way around the encounter.
Yeah.
It encourages creative problem solving and role playing, and regardless of which path you choose, all roads eventually lead to the rock itself.
Right.
A solitary peak shrouded in illusions. Okay. And that is where things get really interesting.
Right.
Guarding the entrance is the Crone of Chaos.
Okay.
And she's not exactly welcoming. Let's just say she embodies the module's theme of deception to a T.
Right.
She presents herself as a damsel in distress.
Classic.
But don't let that fool you.
Yeah.
She uses illusions and mind-bending attacks to manipulate those who underestimate her.
Oh, that's good.
I'm sensing a pattern here.
Yeah.
It seems like every step of this journey is designed to challenge your perceptions and make you question what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
It's like one giant trust exercise, but with much higher stakes.
For sure.
And figuring out how to enter the rock is a challenge in itself.
What do you have to do?
The true entrance is hidden, and you have to solve a riddle to find it.
Oh, fun.
Again, the module emphasizes looking beyond the obvious and thinking critically. So you've navigated treacherous trails, outwitted deceptive creatures, and solved a riddle to find the hidden entrance.
Yeah.
You step inside, and you find yourself in the Grand Hall of the Rock.
Wow.
It's a place of ancient grandeur, filled with treasures and an eerie silence that speaks volumes about its forgotten history.
That's cool.
Okay, I have chills.
Yeah.
That's the perfect way to end part one.
All right.
I can't wait to see what awaits us inside the hall.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so we left off standing at the entrance to the Grand Hall of the Rock.
Yeah.
A place filled with treasures and an eerie silence.
Right.
That hints at a forgotten history. I don't know about you, but I'm on the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
What happens next?
Well, the Hall of the Rock is where the adventure really comes to a head.
Okay.
It's where all those themes of deception and choice and consequence that we've been talking about culminate in two distinct endings.
Two endings. Okay, now I'm even more intrigued.
And each ending offers a completely different experience.
Wow. Okay, let's start with ending A.
Okay.
What kind of challenges await the adventurers who go down that path?
Ending A throws you right into a battle.
Okay.
Against 4 living statues.
Ooh, statues.
Each representing a past king of Tuma.
Oh, okay.
Now, you might think this is just another monster bash.
Right.
But it's so much more nuanced than that.
Really?
Yeah. Remember how the module has been hinting at the city's lost glory and the consequences of poor choices?
Yeah.
Well, these statues embody those themes perfectly.
So it's not just about defeating mindless automatons. There's more to it than that.
Exactly. These statues were once wise and powerful rulers.
Right.
But they made mistakes, decisions that led to their downfall. And you can see that reflected in the way they fight.
Okay.
For instance, Alcidaxes, who is known for his reliance on powerful weaponry, can actually trap non-magical weapons.
Oh.
It's almost poetic how their past mistakes are woven into their present forms.
So are you saying these statues are more tragic figures than outright villains?
I think there's definitely room for interpretation there.
Okay.
The module doesn't paint them as purely evil.
Right.
And it even hints at a sense of regret in their actions.
Interesting.
It raises an interesting question. Can they be redeemed?
Yeah.
Or are they forever bound to this cursed existence?
Ooh.
That's something the players have to grapple with during the encounter.
I can see how that would lead to some amazing role-playing moments.
Absolutely.
Do you try to reason with them, find a way to break the curse?
Right.
Or do you simply fight for your survival?
It adds a whole new dimension to the battle.
Yeah.
And it highlights the moral complexities that this module weaves into its seemingly straightforward adventure.
Right.
Now let's switch gears and talk about ending B.
Okay.
This one is all about wisdom and perception.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Imagine you're standing in this grand hall, surrounded by treasure.
Okay.
There are 7 chests before you, each more lavish than the last.
Ooh. Tempting.
And there are these soft, tempting voices whispering in your ear, urging you toward the most opulent ones.
But I have a feeling there's a catch.
You bet there is.
Okay.
This ending is all about resisting those temptations and proving that you've learned from the journey.
Okay.
It's a direct callback to the cryptic poem that warns about false appearances and hidden truths.
So it's testing whether you've bought into the module's core message.
Precisely.
Okay.
Have you internalized the lessons about deception and the dangers of greed?
Right.
Because if you haven't, you're going to fall for the trap.
Uh-oh.
And the consequences are pretty dire. Choosing the wrong chest gets you kicked out of the hall empty-handed.
Oh, no.
And you might face even more dangers on the way back.
Oh, man, that's rough. Talk about high stakes. So what happens if you choose wisely?
That's where the real reward lies.
Okay.
The correct chest, the simplest and most unassuming one, contains not only treasure, but also the talisman.
Okay.
And a final message that reveals the heart of the adventure's mystery.
I love how the module subverts expectations here.
Yeah.
It's the unassuming choice, the one that doesn't scream treasure,
Right.
that actually leads to the true victory.
It's a brilliant design choice that reinforces the module's core themes.
Yeah, and the talisman itself is more than just a powerful artifact.
Yeah.
It's a symbol of Arkayz's mission, a key to understanding the fate of Tuma and its people. Speaking of Tuma, the talisman's final message urges the adventurers to seek out the city and uncover its hidden truth. It's like the module is saying, this isn't the end, it's just the beginning.
Exactly. It opens up so many possibilities for continuing the adventure.
Right.
It's a perfect example of how this module, while self-contained, also provides a springboard for further exploration and storytelling.
I'm starting to see why Journey to the Rock is considered a classic.
Yeah.
It's not just about finding a magical artifact, it's about the journey itself. The lessons you learn along the way, and the questions it raises about morality choice and the nature of truth.
It's a reminder that even in a game filled with fantastical creatures and epic battles, there's room for nuanced storytelling and thought-provoking themes.
I agree.
And that's what makes this module and D&D as a whole so compelling.
I'm sold.
Yeah.
This is definitely going on my list of modules to play.
Definitely.
But before we wrap things up, I'm curious about those additional adventure suggestions we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
They sound like some fun ways to extend the Journey to the Rock experience.
They are. The module itself provides a framework, a starting point.
Okay.
And then it's up to the dungeon master and the players to build upon that foundation.
Right.
Take the city of Tuma, for instance.
Yeah. Right. Like, what if each sealed building within Tuma held a piece of the city's history, a clue to what happened to its people?
Exactly. It could be a whole campaign in itself.
Right.
Exploring those abandoned structures, uncovering secrets.
Yeah.
And maybe even finding a way to restore the city to its former glory.
Now that's an epic quest.
Yeah.
And what about those gnomes sailing their ship through the desert?
Oh, the possibilities are endless.
Right.
Imagine joining their expedition, encountering desert pirates, navigating treacherous sand dunes.
Yeah.
And maybe even discovering a long-lost oasis, rumored to hold the key to finding a real ocean.
Okay.
It's a chance to flip the traditional D&D setting on its head and explore a truly unique environment.
I'm picturing Lawrence of Arabia meets D&D.
And the Dungeon Master can tailor this encounter to fit their campaign perfectly.
Right.
It could be a terrifying beast requiring the combined might of the party to defeat.
Yeah.
Or a more nuanced encounter involving investigation diplomacy. And maybe even a touch of environmental storytelling.
Wow, you've given me so much to think about.
Yeah.
It's clear that Journey to the Rock is much more than a one-and-done adventure.
Right.
It's a wellspring of inspiration that can fuel countless hours of D&D fun.
It really speaks to the collaborative nature of the game.
Yeah.
The module provides a framework, but it's up to the players and the Dungeon Master to bring it to life.
Right. It's amazing how this one module, Journey to the Rock, has sparked so many ideas.
I know, right?
We've gone from, like, deciphering cryptic poems to sailing across a desert in a gnome-powered ship.
It's crazy.
It's pretty wild.
It really shows how creative the designers were.
Yeah.
To pack all that into one module.
Yeah, and you know, it's a testament to the power of imaginative game design. The module provides a framework,
Right.
But it's really the players and the dungeon master who, like, bring it to life.
Yeah.
With their creativity and collaborative storytelling.
For sure.
And that's what I love about D&D.
Totally.
It's a shared experience where everyone contributes to the story.
Yeah, it's not just one person telling the story.
Right.
It's everyone at the table.
Exactly. But before we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I want to circle back to something you said earlier about Journey to the Rock being more than just a one-and-done adventure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What did you mean by that?
Well, this module, it plants seeds that could easily blossom into full-blown campaigns.
Okay.
We've touched on a few already.
Yeah, like exploring the ruins of Tuma.
Right.
Joining the gnome search for an ocean.
Yeah.
Investigating the horrors of Lake Neshonin.
Yeah. Each one of those could be a springboard.
Yeah.
For countless hours of gameplay.
Okay, let's dive into those a bit more.
Okay.
Imagine exploring Tuma not just as a quick stopover on the way to the rock, but as a central location for a whole campaign.
Okay.
What kind of stories could you tell there?
Well, each sealed building in Tuma could be a dungeon in its own right.
Whoa.
Maybe they hold remnants of the city's advanced technology, magical artifacts, or even clues to the fate of its inhabitants.
Ooh.
Think Indiana Jones meets ancient magic.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you could tie those individual dungeons together with a larger story arc.
Right.
Maybe there's a prophecy about restoring Tuma to its former glory.
That's exactly.
Or a hidden evil lurking beneath the city that the players need to uncover.
That would be cool.
Right.
You could even weave in elements of political intrigue. With different factions vying for control of the city's remaining resources or secrets.
Oh, wow.
The possibilities are really endless.
Okay, now I'm picturing a whole Tuma-based campaign.
Yeah.
But let's shift gears to those desert-faring gnomes.
Okay.
I have to admit, I'm a little obsessed with the idea of a gnome ship sailing across a sea of sand.
It's such a fun image.
What kind of adventure could you have with them?
Oh, man, you could have desert pirates.
Okay.
Treacherous sandstorms encounters with strange desert creatures that only exist in this world.
Yeah, and imagine the role-playing opportunities.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You could have a grizzled gnome captain with a salty personality.
A gnome navigator who's constantly getting lost.
Right.
A gnome engineer who's obsessed with tinkering with the ship's engine.
Exactly.
And the search for a real ocean could be the overarching quest that drives the whole campaign.
It's like a nautical adventure, but in reverse.
Yeah.
Instead of searching for uncharted islands, you're searching for a lost body of water in a vast and unforgiving desert.
That's cool.
And then there's Lake Neshonin and its mysterious monster.
Right.
That's a classic D&D trope that never gets old.
Never gets old.
But what makes it so compelling in this module?
I think it's the flexibility.
Right.
The module gives you just enough information to pique your curiosity, but it leaves the details up to the dungeon master.
Right.
Is the monster a terrifying leviathan that requires the whole party to defeat? Is it a manifestation of some ancient curse?
Right.
Or is there a more mundane explanation like a giant mutated fish?
Okay.
Or a particularly grumpy water elemental?
So it could be a straight-up monster battle, a mystery to be solved, or even a chance for some environmental storytelling.
Right.
Maybe the monster is a symptom of something larger going wrong.
Exactly.
In the ecosystem of the lake.
And that opens up opportunities for role-playing and problem-solving beyond just combat.
Right.
Maybe the players need to find a way to purify the lake or negotiate with the creature instead of killing it.
Wow. Journey to the Rock is like a treasure chest of D&D goodness.
It really is.
It's got exploration combat puzzles, moral dilemmas, and endless opportunities for creative storytelling.
It's got a little bit of everything.
I'm starting to think every D&D group needs to experience this module at least once.
I think so, too. It's a classic for a reason.
Yeah.
It captures the spirit of adventure, the joy of discovery, and the endless possibilities that make D&D such a unique and engaging game.
And on that note, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive into Journey to the Rock.
That was fun.
Yeah, we explored its twisting paths and covered its hidden depths and hopefully inspired you to embark on your own adventure.
For sure.
Through this classic module.
A good one.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And remember, the real adventure begins where the module ends.
That's right.
So grab your dice, gather your party, and see where your own Journey to the Rock takes you.